it's Dr. Magnifico from Jaredsville Vet. This is Daffodil. She's actually a staff member's pet. It's actually her grandmother's cat. As you can see by her width, she's overweight. The normal cat weight is probably somewhere between 8 and 12 pounds. What did she weigh in at?
13.
13, okay, so she's a little overweight. The most common thing that I see with cats that are overweight is they get matted. So they get matted on what we call the caudal spine. So this is a big giant mat. She literally can't twist herself around to get it. So we'll see a lot of dirt and problems kind of at the back end base of the tail, and then you see these mats. So this is really a video about how to keep your cat skinny. If you have an indoor only cat, I would tell you really try to avoid dry food. I think that dry food just has too many carbohydrates. So if you can do canned food, and canned food comes in a 3-ounce can, which is the little one, or a 5-ounce can, which is the big one. A normal cat should eat about 5 ounces twice a day. If they're overweight, you can add water and you can do multiple small meals that way. If they're really a dry food fan, then get a feeder bowl and put the dry food in that and try to get like a low fat food. That way they have to push the feeder ball around to get it to drop out a piece of dried food. At least they're getting some exercise. The other thing that you can do is you can take a small handful of that dry food and kind of throw it across the room, so at least they have to go kind of hunt for their food. But really try to do as much wet food as you can, because I really think it's the only way that you can get the weight off. It's very hard to say take your cat running or exercising. They just, it's just not usually part of our daily lifestyle. If you get a cat with mats and it's now spring, so it's now matting time, the best thing to do is to use clippers. Never use scissors. The scissors are just gonna cut the skin inadvertently. So, we never use scissors. Never use scissors. I know everybody thinks that they're safe and lots of people try to cut in the middle of the mat, but at some point you're gonna cut your cat and it's just not worth it. Just go to your big box store, get yourself a pair of clippers and then clip it off. It might take you a little while, and just go slowly and gently. Make sure your clippers don't get overheated, and just kind of work it off with the clippers. Lots of cats who are obese can't get to the, I know, she says it tickles, can't get to it. So you can either ask your groomer or you can come to your vet and ask for help there, but that's it. You just want to very carefully and slowly kind of clip it off with the trimmers. You really can't cut them if you do this slowly and carefully, but this is just what it's going to look like. Every cat needs to be groomed in spring and fall. Lots of cats, even my cat who's not overweight, she needs some help in grooming. She just gets matted, and it's usually along the caudal dorsal spine. If you have an indoor cat, I would also recommend you do flea and tick preventative, or at least flea preventative, a couple times a year so that you don't end up with a problem. But this is what you want to see, just a slow, gentle kind of trimming it off. Check other places for matting, but this is just matted hair. If you don't trim it off, it will start to adhere to the skin, and then it starts pulling the skin off, and that's when you get infections. So for overweight cats, think about wet food only. Think about making them hunt for their dry food if they won't do wet food. Make sure you take up the grooming for them. This is a flea comb, so this is a really good way for the cats who haven't gotten to the point of matting to get off that excess hair. And then try to encourage exercise, either with a laser pointer or with the play balls, or with any way that you can get them up and moving. This cat in particular is the staff member's grandparents. And one of the grandparents has dementia. So every time this cat goes to the food bowl and cries, they think that they haven't fed Daffodil, and Daffodil gets another feeding. So this is a particularly difficult one. You can try alarms, you can get automatic feeders, but in general, it's encourage more exercise. Try to discourage those excess calories and to take over the grooming that they can't do because they're too fat to get to it. If you have any questions about this, you can reach me here at Jaredsville Vet. Thank you, Daffodil. You did very well.